Maya? It's you and me, sweetie. Today? What do you think? Somebody's here so far, and I'm dead on time for a change. So maybe people are thinking, give Gay a little while. Hi, Tommy. Lady Luck, how you doing? I'm doing good myself. So far today, beginning of the day. Hi, Joe. Rainy. Hi, sweetie. Hi, Taylor. No, Maya. Amaya's the albino. It says Maya. Maybe it's the light, Joe. But yeah, Maya was the one who wanted out, so she got to join us. As you can see, Lily's not interested. Oh, cool, Tommy, that's great. You got your garter snake out, Taylor. Good-o. Good-o. I think it's a great time if you're just sitting there doing nothing, watching a video. Why not have one of your snakes out? Hi, Carolyn. Welcome. Today. So for a lot of you guys are coming into the summer. Oh, duh. Oh, no, it's okay. Don't worry about it, Joe. I'll go over to Jack and say, Lily, no, Jack. And I mean, I'm always forever calling them by their wrong names. I guess I call a lot of them Lily because it's always Lily for me. But, yeah, for a lot of you guys are all coming. Hi, Kenneth. Thanks for popping over. Thank you. You guys over in other parts of the world are all coming into your summer, and us guys are coming into our winter. I'm heading to Maybury tomorrow where the Andy Griffiths show was filmed. Cool, Tommy, that'll be great. Florida summer is awesome. Is awful. Hi, SVAP. How you doing? You got a surprise weekend, Mama. Okay, Rainy. Tell us what your surprise was. I'd love to know. Rainy has been very hot and humid. Well, it's kind of like that here, Joe. Hot and humid. Quite a bit, especially when we get the rains over our summer, those storms, and then everything you touch, even inside your home, is got that damp, yucky feel to it. And if you leave clothes in your laundry basket, they go moldy and horrible too. Very hot here. Where are you, Lady Luck? Situated. It is, but like Harvey Bay, very humid. Okay. The 90s. 90s is nice. Hi, more MAW cleaning. Just stopped in to see what you're streaming. Well, generally, I stream about. Hi, Pastor Jim. Welcome. I do talk about snakes because that's what my channel is about. Of course, sometimes we get sidetracked on to other things, but more often than not, we generally just talk about what's going on with our snakes and or what's happening for me, as much as I love to hear what's going on for others in their lives and how they're doing with all their snakes as well. So very snake orientated channel, I guess. Was booked on her flight as a surprise from my friend picking her up today. Okay, Rainy has a new new snake arriving, obviously today at 3:30. So an albino Darwin jag. So I'll get to meet her personally. So I'll be able to get a video of her for all of you to see her as well. So she's very excited, and I would be too. Near Texas. Okay. Yeah, and Texas doesn't get a lot of rain, does it, Lady Luck? Or I know this year, very little rain over there as well. The Snake Queen. I think there's a few of us out there as Snake Queens. A lot of us do love our snakes, and I haven't uploaded a video yet, but talking a little bit about those of us who have what we think with our snakes. Others may not, but we certainly do. I strike the like button. Yeah, no worries, Tommy. I'm glad I was there. Hi, Jimmy. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, Gay. Could you just please confirm what would happen if the law passed? I'm still a bit confused. Sorry. I'm still a little confused too, SFAP. I'm still going through. There is so much to read. All I can say to you is, as a hobbyist, which I don't consider myself even a hobbyist, really, I really don't like that word, hobbyist. I'm not a hobbyist. I mean, I have snakes. I love them. I care for them. I have learnt a lot about them. I'm not an expert. I'm not a hobbyist, but I love having snakes in my life. And the changes will come if they all get put through. For me, the scary part is it's not even the money, and it is about money. Hi, Finding Hope. Welcome to the stream today. It's the money is an issue because for a lot of us, say for example, SVAP, who currently, he's dealing with just one snake. Plans is to have more. And if he was a young guy not working, he's up for a lot of money if he chooses to get 5 or more snakes. I hate being dictated to, number one, that I should only be allowed to have 5 unless I want to pay out more money. And I feel that money is better spent on the care of the reptiles. And a lot of people don't care for them well enough now and shouldn't really have them because financially they can't afford them. But asking for money to line their pockets is not going to fix what they say is broken for a start. Hi, Dragonfly Lady. Welcome, welcome. Thank you. I will do that for you. Hi, TJ. Yeah, and for Rainy, for example, that really worries her. Hi, Azzy. I know it's pretty late for you over there, but thanks for coming in. Hi, Jessica. What's up? Just chilling with all you guys today. No, it's okay, hun. I understand. Azzy, completely understand. So, SVAP, what it comes down to is if you are planning on breeding, then it's a whole new ball game for you. Money, starting a business, having an ABN, and that is even if you only had Amigo and one other snake in your life, you're still going to have to pay to have a business and to sell those babies. And I haven't really got, the question I'm asking is, what if you were just giving those babies away? But the fact that you're breeding already puts you in a category of being a business and needing an ABN. And what they're saying too is if you do, some people believe it's really good for a snake to breed and to have at least one pregnancy. But but for the female themselves. Otherwise, don't have female snakes if you don't plan on breeding them, which I don't plan on breeding mine, but I've got females. So will you need a business? Just yes, absolutely. You will need a business if you want to sell those babies. And a lot of people keep male and females in together. They'll have 2 males and a female and so on. And that's how their snakes have always lived. And they don't mind the fact that if the female gets pregnant, they have babies and they'll sell those babies. No problem whatsoever. Now, if they're not a business, it's separating those snakes from one another. And so that doesn't occur, and it will mean destroying the eggs. And no ifs or buts, destroying the eggs. So that worries me too, that a lot of people are going to start doing this quietly. And for our bigger breeds of snakes, you know, our normals, our jacks, where does it leave him? Nobody's breeding jacks. There's no money in him. We've got a lot to lose. And invertebrates, spiders, scorpions, all those people are getting hit hard too. So it's not just us as reptile keepers. You know, we have very few big breeders here. We have a lot of so-called hobbyist breeders, and I want them to stay because that's where I get Jack and Lilies from. I can't get them from a big breeder. I can get beautiful snakes from the big breeders here, but I've got to fork out thousands because all their snakes are, you know what I mean. Yeah. Hi, Victoria. Welcome, welcome. Anybody else I've missed? Beast Mode, the fam, thank you for coming in. Good morning, Gay. It's been a while. Yeah, it has been, Victoria, but lovely to see you today. How are you doing? Guess what I have? 11 snakes now. See, Victoria's now got 11 snakes. So, Victoria, if these new laws come in, you're going to be paying out a little bit more money now to have those 11 snakes. So if you don't already know about it, go onto Facebook, go on to Queensland Fauna Lobbyists, go in and read. It's all there, what the change is going to be. And if you can send an email through, put through what you're thinking about it. There's a multitude of emails, your local member and so forth, that you can send an email to about your concerns and why you're concerned. It will really affect us. 11 snakes. What did you get, Victoria, into your snake family? Same with some species of birds. Yes, absolutely, Rainey. It's across the board. Any wildlife that we have in our lives, from birds to spiders, scorpions, all those things, to snakes. And of course, for me, it's snakes, but we're fighting for everybody at the moment. And hopefully, because I think they're hearing us roar, some things will get, okay, let's forget this and let's, you know, bring this in. Because some of it I see as being worthwhile. Other things I see as being detrimental to us, and we're tiny. Or actually, I think the number is there's 13 odd thousand of us that keep wildlife here in Australia. But if you put the numbers to other places in the world, we are this big. Really, we are. But that's 13,000 people that won't vote in this government next year, I tell you. So they need to be very careful. I think that's a lot of votes not in their favour. You have 2 coastals, a sib, 3 jungle jags, black-headed python, 2 Darwins and a Stimson. Well, you've got such a variety Victoria. Hi, Juice. Carl. Lovely to see you. Watched a little bit of your live the other night. Was you drunk? Well, you weren't drunk, but your buddies were. It was, yeah, and then all of a sudden you disappeared. Hi, Green Bay. Thanks for popping in. Thanks for showing some support. Hi, Dee Dee. Welcome. Yeah, so anyway, it's a real downer at the moment, I think, for all of us. And my head has been a little bit, just reading. And the more I read, the more disaster I see. And I could sit and chat to you for an hour about everything. I'm trying to just keep it short, sweet, easy, but it's going to impact everybody. Everybody's going to feel it. And for some worse than others, and even people who are already established are going to feel it. So some of it is really like, what do you mean by that? And this all comes about the black market, poaching, all those sorts of things. Well, hey, there's so many good here, and the good are being punished for a few bad. And I'm talking a few bad. And it happens everywhere, and I wish it would stop, but it exists. They were also drunk. I know, I saw that bit where they got in trouble, and Urumi or whatever coming in said, shh, can you be quiet, please? And then all of a sudden you went offline. So I guess you thought you wouldn't be able to keep quiet. Yeah, Victoria, she has an awesome collection. She absolutely has lots of different ones. And I've been able to see a few pictures of them as well that Victoria sent through to me, and amazing, absolutely amazing. In one way, the law might be good, meaning that there won't be any dodgy businesses. Yeah, there are. You're right, SVAP. There's a lot of backyard breeders that I want to see. Get rid of them. Absolutely. But remember, there's also a lot of hobbyists that have maybe a male and a female coastal, a male and a female Bredli, and that's it. That's all they've got. And they might breed every second season and sell those babies. That's it. They can't afford to now do that because of the money they would have to outlay to do it. And when you think that, and I say normal in the nicest way because they're pure coastals, really, as Jimmy mentioned to me, none of the proposed changes are going to do anything as far as black market and poaching goes. You're right. Absolutely. And in actual fact, Jimmy, I think it will make it worse, to be honest. But Jimmy was mentioning he has got 2 coastals from a lady that has a male and a female, and that's what she's got, and $50 each. Well, actually, he didn't pay for one of them. Why would she register as a business and have an ABN and have to have all that goes with a business outlay, a name, registering? It's just ridiculous. So okay, that's okay, TJ. That's fine to show. He's not asking for anybody to actually go and click his button, so that's cool. I want to see Seeker gone. They really need to wake up and understand what their pros will do more damage than good. Do they expect us to just let our excess animals go? No, they don't expect us to let them go, but those people that don't have money, Rainey, will have to surrender their snakes. And some people do not have and I know for many of you, you'll think, what's $600? $600 to many here in Australia is a lot of extra money to find to keep our snakes. And I would rather put that into absolutely what my snakes need. So that's where my and I'll hand them receipts and say, okay, here's your $600 going back into the economy with feeders and heating and substrate and things that my snakes need. So there's your $600 in receipts. I've paid it. You know, it's ridiculous, but that's how it goes. I think black market trade will grow tremendously. Many will go underground. Yep. And look, Joe, already that's happening. It's already happening. Do you know the amount of people that I know don't even hold a license? And what makes it worse is they've got snakes, they advertise, and you say, have you got a license? Yes. Yep, got a license. You go there and they go, oh, I've been looking everywhere for it, but I can't find it. And here's this snake in the most atrocious conditions. You want to take the snake home. You don't want to leave it there. But you can't license that snake under your license. Even though you've got one, you can't write that up in your book. They will come and take it. They'll take it off you. And that's what bugs me. There's so many that do it here. And if we could change that, it would be great. Because those people, as far as I'm concerned, are useless within our community. They go get a snake, and whoever gave them that snake in the first place didn't have a license either. And it just goes on. So, you know, some of the things, just registering your snakes online might be a bit easier for everybody. It's done, flick. But I tell you, we do the paperwork up, we send it. I know it's just left sitting there somewhere, thrown in a file, and they wouldn't know. They really wouldn't know. So there are some changes that need to be made, but whether that happens or not for a good thing or just the bad things, but we'll keep fighting to make sure that everybody is equal and happy. Both sides. I want both sides to be happy. I don't want anybody to lose, but at the moment we're going to lose. Not their bank book. Our bank book will lose. How can I show my dad that snakes make really good pets? Tommy, I guess it comes down to you showing your responsibility in being able to care for it and what you know about them and what you've learnt about them yourself, and having conversations with Dad about it. What you've learnt, what you know, what you will need, and how you'll continue to care for that snake. You're the one who has to prove that you are responsible in caring for a snake. I was doing a birthday party for my 14-year-old, and I have run. My wife is like, come on, how much of cool. So you better go to your 14-year-old's birthday party, Green Bay, and thanks for popping in. How much would it cost per month per snake a month? Well, say for example, when Maya is eating weekly, Carl, and sometimes she does go to every 7 days, my feeders cost me probably $4. So 4, 8, 12, $16 a month to feed her, which is really in the scheme of things, well, it's not too bad. But it's not just feeding her, it's heating for her. Cost of electricity, I guess. But in the scheme of things, not a lot. Really, it's not a lot. But you've got to have bulbs and heating devices ready to go in case something breaks. For her, I like to use substrate, and I do buy a big thing of it, which costs me about $50, $60, which I utilize for all of my snakes. But it can be expensive depending on what you have and don't have for your snake. I think initially setting up is the most expensive, and from there the costs get a little bit less. But yeah, your biggest outlay is feeding them, I think, ultimately on a monthly basis, especially when you've got 8 to feed. I have a pretty big feeding bill. Every probably 2 months, I would go and spend close to a couple of $100 on feeders. So if you work that out over a year, that's not cheap. Where you can get lace monitors. Yeah, I don't know where at all at this particular point in Brisbane for SBAP. So if anybody knows that, where do you that's how I started out. Okay, Brisbane. I've been waiting one. Okay, I'm just trying to catch up on the monitors. Yeah, DD loves these monitors. Waiting for your Asian water monitor. Wow. A lot of time in monitors, in getting them to chill. A lot of work, a lot of patience, a lot of, being there and just initially allowing them to come to you, you not going to them. And I guess that's food-based, isn't it, DD? A lot of lizards respond well to you feeding them. Hi, Luna. Welcome, Dale. Thank you. No worries, TJ. We'll talk later. Hi, Matt. Welcome. Welcome to my live stream. You'd love to get one. They're like ones of the reptile. Yes, they are. SVAP. Hi, Jeff and John. Well, it'll be John. Thanks for popping in today. Yeah, they like dogs. SVAP. They really are. Like a dog, for sure. I know people have snakes without licenses, and some of them, well, I'm disgusted with how they care or don't care for them. I've been offered a couple of these poor snakes too, but can't. Exactly. It's heartbreaking. You just want to take them, but you know your butt's on the line, and not just but for your snakes as well. So people don't realize that, you know, and mind you, some of them say they want a couple of $100 for this snake. The fact is, unless somebody is willing to take it and they haven't got a license, they're stuck with this snake, and you know they're living in appalling conditions, or they'll let it go. That's what they'll do. They'll end up letting it go. So no, never late. Never late here, Luna. You can pop in any time. Monitors are beautiful, but too much work and risk involved for me. Yeah, and that's what I mean. It's a lot of time and a lot of work. But then don't we kind of, in a way, do that with our snakes too? They can be a lot of work, especially if you get a Tessa in your life. She's getting there. She'll get there. Okay. It would mean a lot to have you in my consent video that I'm doing, as you're one of my faves. All I need is a clip of you saying no means no, sent to. Okay. I will do that for you, Carl. I have no, excuse me, people, while I find a little piece of paper here. And I shall write that down now, Carl, before it disappears on me. So you want me to send you a video clip of me saying no means no. Okay. No means no. I know what you're doing too, Carl. Choose my randomness. That's easy. I won't forget that one. At iCloud.com. Can do, Carl. Not a problem at all. Would love to. Thanks for asking me to do it. Much appreciated. Our snakes won't bite our hands off. I don't know. I don't know, Joe. Jack probably wouldn't bite my hand off, but it would feel like he's bitten my hand off if he bit me. I tell you. Thanks, John. Thanks very much. And it's lovely to see you too. And I always try and catch you live. Sometimes it's a bit early. Sometimes I catch the end of it. Sometimes I've popped on, John, and you've just finished. I think, God, that'd be right, but I try. Monitors are cheap to buy, but cost a lot to feed him, and the enclosures, absolutely, DD. Elliot, welcome, welcome. I've seen them in Australia. They can cost like 600. Yep, they would. Got to go to bed now. Night, sleep well. Jeff and John, if you're watching, Jeff, but I know John is for sure. So we never really do stay on topic, do we? But I do like to put a topic in there. I often think I'll just say, let's chat. Let's just have a chat, guys. But I really like to kind of put some sort of a topic in place for us to chat about. In Canada, I pay for an 8-9 monitor $200. In the US, they're like $50. You know, there's so many. I was looking at, actually, Azzy's got a video where she went to a reptile show in Hamburg, and the prices of some of the reptiles there were, I'm going, are you kidding me? Is that all you would pay? I mean, my little Apani, who is a patternless spotted, cost me $350 for her, which is, when you think about it, well, she's going to be this size, but yeah, our snakes can be a little bit pricey, and that's what I mean with morphs. So breeders with these new laws anyway are never going to breed anything like Lily or anything like that, because they're not going to make their money with normals, as I would say. Jeff Gates at Herb Heaven breeds some monitors, not lace monitors though. Okay, the girl I'm picking up for today goes for $700 from the breeder. I know, Rainy, like, I understand, and I like to see a nice price on our snakes. I don't want them to be given away literally, because then everybody would just be grabbing snakes, and not necessarily people that can really understand the cost that's involved with them and the care that's involved with them. So hence why I have Jesse. They realised I didn't know he needed heating. I didn't know he was outside under a back veranda in a fish tank with nothing. Some newspaper. I don't think he even had a hide in there. I think, a branch on the ground, and he was in a fish tank that was huge, and Jessie was, this big. And they didn't know. And the reason why they were advertising him is because they didn't have the money to set him up. So, anyway, I'm hunting a hypocoastal. They're on average around 400. Yep. If you're going to get anything that has a slight morph here in Australia, you're going to pay money for them, for sure. And I do have a friend that's going to be breeding some too. So the more that there is out there, of course, we know the price goes down a little bit, but some of it's way out of my league. Like I see, going off topic a little bit, but watching some ball python prices, and I'm thinking, a couple of $100 for this clown come whatever, because I don't know all the morphs. Honestly, I don't. There's so many. But this clown with something and something in it, yellow belly, whatever. $2,000 for this snake. I am like, are you for real? Is that honestly the prices of ball pythons over there? I am shocked at, I guess, in paying that price, you're buying that to breed. Would you buy it as a pet or as a breeder? I don't know. I'm letting you play, friend. You have a water line that broke. Joys of life. I wonder, you talking to me, Lady Luck, or somebody else here? Where I see there, maybe 49. I'm not up with the comments here, and I'm not reading every one. By the way, if you're wondering why I'm not in school, don't worry, I'm not a bad boy. You just do homeschool. Okay, Espat. Well, that's good to know. Actually, I didn't think of it. It is Monday and you should be at school. Poor Jesse had a bad start. He did. And I was just, what is he doing now? Well, we didn't realise. We didn't know. But surely the person that you got him from told you. No, I never said anything. I find that a little bit hard to believe. But anyway, thank goodness he was all right. And he was feeding and doing all the right things. So, yeah, no major damage done, but he's certainly grown to be a big boy now. That's for sure. Oh, okay. No worries, Lady Luck. I understand now. My ball python was 200. I know. Yeah. Hi, Bow Serpent. Welcome. These new regulations that Parliament are trying to change, really scaring you, absolutely scaring us, scaring every snake owner, spider owner, scorpion owner, anything invertebrate owner is scared. We're all a little scared, but we're fighting. So find the website on Facebook. If you've got your concerns, put them forward. And email your member of Parliament. There's a couple of other emails there that you can send your concerns through to. I suggest you read up what it means to you and what you have in your life and stick to that, but understand that it is going to affect a lot of people. No, it hasn't gone through yet, but they're sitting in a couple of months. And the bit that's upsetting, I think, everybody here at the moment is the fact that we were given only a couple of months notice of this actually happening. That's not enough time for us. Well, not me personally. I say us because it will affect all of us. But for those bigger people there that are going to put it all on paper and submit each and every step of the way. There's a lot of closed meetings, and they've been sitting and working on this, the wildlife authorities and so forth, for 3 years, and we knew nothing about it. That's wrong. That was what went wrong. Extreme Being 27 snakes from Mel. Okay, got it, Extreme Being, but now you're both 7. Cool. I'll remember that now. Way more than a car. All right, I haven't got to reptiles yet. Okay. Yeah, but anyway, haven't really done winter, summer, weather changes and so forth. But do any of you notice a change in your snakes over the winter months compared to the summer months yourselves? I'm interested to know if you see any noticeable changes in your snake's behavior, apart from feeding. You know, we all know that feeding can completely stop for some snakes over the winter, but actually in the behavior themselves, and what they are. And do you have any concerns over the winter, or questions you'd like to know what you should do over the winter months at all? Yeah. Do you think that they're aware of the weather changes? And do you notice any changes to them coming into winter or coming into summer that you can sort of say they're well aware of those weather changes? More than us, I think, at times, as she's still getting used to her enclosure at the moment. Yeah. Aluna's just gone into her beautiful bigger enclosure, so she's still figuring all that out. In some place in Canada, snakes and monitor illegal to have. Yep, says Wayne. Hey, Seth. Wrench me, mummy. Oh, God, you'd be whooping everybody's butt, Seth. For sure. You can find great deals, but also some unhealthy snakes in the lower price ranges. Just be a little picky if you purchase at a show. Absolutely. Hey, Joe Alice. Thanks for coming in. Lovely to see you. I figure I stopped by to show Kelly. Thanks, Kelly. Much appreciated. Honey, lovely person, Kelly. Such a sweet person, I tell you she is. How come you have a wrench next to your name? SFAT. It's not about who should have a wrench and who shouldn't have a wrench, really, because I think everybody can deserve a wrench here. I've known Joe for a long time, and I will have to put some more wrenches here. Don't you worry, and I can do that. I've already got some names logged in here. So SFAT, maybe next time when you come back, you might be blue. So I do have Neo, of course, as you know, but Neo is not in a good space at the moment, but he tries to be here when he can. Hi, Jerry Lynn. Hi, good to see you. Hi, Brian. Yeah, I could too, Brian, for sure. Brian does coins, and I'm currently hunting for some old coins that I can find. I've got some laying around somewhere that I'll get to him. I've got his address here, so I said that I would, and I will. Feeding day yesterday. Took 4 hours to feed everyone, big snakes and babies. It can be time consuming, can it not, Bo, when you're feeding a few. My snakes don't all feed on the one day, which makes it relatively not too bad for me, because, for example, feeding Jack, it can sometimes take him an hour from getting that rat to actually finding the head to actually swallowing it. So I always feed Jack relatively early in the day and not later at night, because I'd fall asleep watching him try and find that head. He's such a doofer, Jack, when it comes to feeding. And I've done a video, and I don't know if who's the doofer, me or Jack. I'm a worrier, I tell you. Here I am. He struck at the rat, and he was actually, I think, in his hammock. And I'm watching him sort of fall more and more and more. And so I ended up just grabbing him, and slowly he lowered himself down, and I waited to see his tail get a grip. Otherwise, he'd have landed head first in the bottom of his enclosure, just in excitement of grabbing that rat. He's not thinking that he hasn't gripped something, and he just comes flying out. So I have to be mindful of that in that big, tall enclosure. But when we're talking about, this is why I'm talking about winter, Jack has gone to ground. Now, Jack loves being up top, but every morning I've come out, and he's still in there. He's on the ground, snuggled up in his hide box on his heat mat. And over summer, Jack is out, laying in his hammock, sleeping up there, whatever, off ground. But in winter, he goes to ground. And that's why I have a heat mat on the floor for Jack over winter, because I know he goes to ground. That's a change in Jack's behavior, him telling me it's cool and I want to keep snug and warm. So the way I do that is I go and I lay in my hide box. I don't know. That's okay, Jerry Lynn. I completely understand. Thank you for popping in. That is what's important to me, is just somebody popping in and saying hello. Even, like I've said, for 1 minute, I appreciate it. You have, Lunatic Sun. You definitely have. How do you feel about snakes eating chickens? Not a problem. SFAT, it's good, especially your carpet pythons, to offer them a variety. No reason why you can't at all. Go for it. Quail, offer them quail too. They quite like the poultry carpet pythons. So yeah, and actually I wouldn't feed it all the time. Rotate. You know, one feed you could do chicks, and the next time you could do a rat, and so forth. Not always chickens, but cheaper to buy chicks than it is to buy rats. So you can cut your costs, and it's not going to hurt your snake either. Well, chicken neck and chicken wings. No, you don't need to do chicken neck or chicken wings. You can buy 2-day-old chicks, give them the feathers, the whole lot. It's good for the SFAT. By all means, buy them, and most places will sell them, or ask if you can get them. I think I'll do the same for everybody. Okay, sorry to come. No, I've read that. Olive's just the same. Do you think Jack has gone to ground for more heat? Well, I thought about that actually, Luna, but he has an 80-watt heating panel, and he can get right up under it. So checking the temperatures up there, for example, under his heat panel, not right under it, but where Jack would lay, it's 30. So even his height, laying on it, he's probably at 31, right on his back. So I don't think that's it. I'm kind of considering, to some degree, with Jack, knowing that he's been a bit of a hide person over winter. And then, remember, this is his first winter in this 1200 high enclosure. He goes to ground, even in a littler enclosure, a 600, he'll go into his hide over the winter. Lily, I notice, is a lot more over the heat now than she is ever in her life over the winter. She will go back and forwards, and they say they do that all year round. No, they don't. In summer, if you don't see your snake going over to the heat, then they don't need to. In winter, if you don't see them going over to the heat, then you wonder what's going on. Something's going on, because they should be warming themselves up for sure. So raw chicken, not good, too much bacteria. You're right. It's not about the raw chicken as such. It's more about, we do know salmonella exists within chicken, but when you buy chicks that have been frozen and then you thaw them out and give them straight away to your snake, there's less bacteria and so forth in chicks and quails that we buy frozen to feed to our snakes. You don't go to your supermarket and buy chicken wings and chicken necks. Don't do it. Absolutely. Make sure they come from somebody that is breeding them for feeders for your snakes, and then you're not going to have the problem with that. So no raw chicken. Absolutely right, Dee Dee. I never feed my monitor. No, I wouldn't either. Legs or wings. Has to be full chick. The feathers and beak and bones, everything. Absolutely everything. And do you know, Bo, it's really funny. Lily would not take those chicks with the heads on. She just wouldn't take them. And I ended up having to chop the head off, and then she'd take them. Now, she has taken some with the head on, but now she just won't take them at all. That's Lily for you. Yeah, you don't, yeah, ball pythons, rats. But we do know our carpet pythons are poultry eaters, and they like poultry. So why not give them a variety? I think it's really good for them. That's just my opinion, but I think it's really good for them. If you can, for sure, do it. I mean, if you can come here, Bo, I'll say Bo, he's all the way down in Melbourne, and get my Lily onto rats, that would be a real bonus for me. I just want to get it back onto rats. I've seen the question, a lot of ball python boards. Most people say it's okay to feed chicks to ball pythons, but versus rat, offer more nutrition. I've never tried with mine though. No, you don't have to. I mean, I don't really know a lot about ball pythons as such, but I'm sure out in the wild they eat birds. Got to eat birds, don't they? But you verse nutrition, rats have everything. Not big rats, they've got a lot of fat, but still, yep, as fat chicks are cheaper than rats. Absolutely. But snakes can't just have chicks. No, Bo, they can't. They've got to have the balance. It's a bit like there for a while. I was determined, Bo, to get Lily onto rats, and she just wouldn't do it. And I gave her chicks in placement of starting her on mice. And after a few weeks of chicks, that she can't live on chicks. It's not enough. And I gave in and gave her mice. I mean, I tried her with a rat. No way. And I still can't get her to eat rats. A local pet shop who sells rats and chicks. Yep. Carpet pythons will eat anything. I don't think Lily would eat a Vegemite sandwich, yes, that joke, but you know what I mean. Lily will not eat rats either, and they're just not her thing. I've taught my ball python something. It's actually so interesting. I seriously have watched him learn to associate something I do with food. Okay, and I don't doubt that at all, Luna. I do not doubt that at all. Yeah, feed rats. Never, ever, ever feed a jungle python, especially mice. You do that, you've done it. You've done your dash. Don't offer a rat again, because I can pretty much tell you, once they taste a mouse, they're done. You'll never get another rat near them without them turning their nose up at you. And they're already that way inclined and can take a while to switch to rats. And when you do it, you think, yee-haw, done. No, Lily changed her mind eventually anyway. So rats, possums, birds, and lizards. Yeah, but lizards are pretty much bubs. You know, only those little hatchlings will eat the lizards, and then they move on and they never go back to lizards. So only for a certain amount, but the ones out in the wild will eat possums, anything that they can get their hands on for sure. They have to, don't they? So I did that video. Our snakes do live a charmed life, don't they? When you really think about it, never got a worry in the world. Our snakes, food's delivered to their door. Their water's freshened every day. You clean up their poop. If they do that, they don't have to move. Well, actually, my snakes, if they poop, if you know Tessa says, let me out of here, now clean it up. So they're spoilt rotten. He only associates one thing that I've constantly done with food, and he knows it's feeding time. I lay out paper towel. Absolutely. Routine, familiarity. They tune in, they pick up, and they associate. You are dead on, Luna. And if paper towel is something you put down, he will recognise that and go, okay, I know what comes next. And that's a feeder. Smart. Very smart. Yeah, film it, Lena. Absolutely. It's like me telling everybody how much Lily despises rats and deciding to do, right, okay, I'll do a video. And that's exactly what I did. And I showed her football and that rat off her hide and getting rid of it with her using her nose to get rid of it. And I thought the best way to explain that and to show people how smart they are and how they can think things through is to do a video. And I put that rat there and I thought, go on, Lily, do your thing. And she did. She didn't disappoint me. You have a question. How do you thaw your rats? Okay. And what I do is I get mine out. I use freezer bags to thaw my rats out, not plastic bags. I put them in a freezer bag. But initially what I do is I get them out, I put them on a plate, and I let them thaw out the day before or early morning. Now it's winter. Think about it. For me, it's winter. So now it's a whole different ball game. So what I do is I'll get them out. You can thaw them out. You can put them in the fridge overnight. Get them out the next day. I put them in a freezer bag. I put them in some warm water just so it takes away the cold and you know it's back to room temperature, and then you can feed your snake with it. Over the summer, I generally will get them out in the morning, and within a few hours, they've thawed and they're pretty much ready to go. For Lily, who is so fussy, Luna, really fussy, I have to warm them up. There is no ifs and buts. She doesn't like room temperature. She likes them to be warm to touch. And yeah, in a freezer bag, in a plastic container, and I just sit them in there, warm it up, and then Lily eats it. And if I've got them all out and you think she's got eight mice that she might eat, if that 8, I'm getting to me. And Maya is still here. I just don't know. She's keeping herself snuggled behind my pillow. I'll just keep my hand on her. I have a granddaughter named Lily, and she don't like to eat rat. Brian, I'm glad she gets to not have to eat rats. Actually, good to know. That's funny. 3 or 4, yeah. My ball pythons go that long, but my jungle goes weekly. But I feed him weekly too. See, what I know, we're talking about feeding. What I notice, because it's winter, is Maya over the summer eats every 7 days. Soon as this cooler weather starts, and I noticed it because I went to feed her last week, after a week, and she turned her nose up. And I know she's saying to me, no, I'm back to my 14 days. So I noticed many changes in my snakes. Lily, for her to be laying in there, knowing I'm sitting here at this particular stage, and she's not at the door wanting to come out, tells me the weather's cooling and she's not that interested in really being out. She wants to stay in there where it's snug and nice and warm too, even though I've heated this room. And that's something that I want you to be mindful of, is to heat the room that you are going to get your snakes out in. We forget about that. And I even, at this particular point, our weather's getting down to about 6 overnight, have to put my heater on overnight. You think that your heating is enough, it not necessarily is over those colder. Sorry, I just keep making sure she's not going anywhere. It will cool down in their enclosure. And you're right, Luna, to some degree. Is his heat panel staying warm or heating enough up there for him? Checking temperatures, it seems to be, but I'm guessing if he goes down onto his heat mat, he's getting his whole body nice and warm, and not just the top of him, which is sustainable in summer, but is it sustainable over winter? Does Jack require belly heat to keep him nice and warm when he's in a 1200 high? That's, but he used to do it in a 600 high too. So I'm kind of in two minds. Do I go back to a 600 high for Jack now, just watching his behaviour, or keep him in the 1200 high? Or do I bring Tessa down into the 1200 high when she gets a bit bigger, and she's growing fast anyway, and put Jack in a 1000 high that I was going to do for Tessa? So I'm just nutting it out right now. So true, they are actually smart. And people who think snakes are dumb, I just say they're just of a different intelligence. Yeah. But you think about it, they've got a pea brain. Hi, Bingus. Welcome. Hi, Holderness. Welcome. Yeah, you use extra heat for the reptile room over winter. Absolutely. And you use cooling over the summer as well. So it's being mindful that it can get hot and it can get cold, just like ours out in the room over winter. We warm up to keep us warm. Though at times I'm sitting here in a lather of sweat, actually my room temperature is perfect right now for the snakes to be out. It's like 28 in this room, which is fine for them to be out in. But in winter, our humidity, because we've got heating going, goes terrible humidity, and I struggle with the humidity for my snakes. As long as it's going, it's a good thing. Little ones are easier to clean. Yeah. He doesn't look constipated. SFAB, when he needs to poo, he's going to poo. I find right now, and I know what you're saying, Sia has not been to the toilet for 6 weeks. Hasn't gone. I've felt her. There's no bumps. There's no hard lumps. There's nothing in there. It's been 6 weeks. And I haven't fed her for 3 weeks. And I'm not feeding her. I'm kind of telling her, go to the toilet. I don't think you keep shoving rats in there. But she's not active. She just lays there all day in her hide. So that's why I get her out and I get her moving, getting her exercising. You could, if you get to a point where you're a little bit worried, put them in a warm bath. That can generally sometimes stimulate them to go to the toilet if you're starting. But just run your hands down his underbelly. If you feel any lumps, you can also in the bath very gently massage and get things moving, which I'm going to do with Sia very soon if she doesn't go. It is dry in the winter. I just have to keep my rats warm. Last year I had 30 plus adult breeder rats. Yeah, Bo, you would. So it's not just snakes we have to be concerned about, but if you're breeding rats to feed, can affect your rats as well, the weather. Heating, air conditioning, both important things to be able to have available if you have reptiles and rats like Bo does. No lumps for me either. Okay. So your ball python's a bit slow in it. No, it's not abnormal for ball pythons. They can, yeah. Can you still do warm bath with our eyes? Absolutely, Luna. Absolutely. No problem. Just make sure that water is warm and keep it warm. And you may need to, put in a little bit more warm water. Don't forget, people go, I'll leave it in there for 20 minutes or whatever. I mean, I never leave them. I'm there the whole time. And I think that water's got to be freezing after 20 minutes, and I don't see them going out any more warm water. Gosh. No, skipping a meal won't hurt. And Sia's missed 3 meals. She's got to be getting hungry, Joe. So I'm thinking you've got to be hungry, Sia. I'm taking her outside. I'm getting her out. And I have to push Sia to move. I've got to, give her a poke and a prod and she'll move a bit. But just getting her. And she was sick with that RI too, remember? So it knocked her back a little bit, but didn't stop her eating at all. Didn't go for 5 weeks until yesterday. That's what I say. When they're ready to go, they will go. And if you keep and make sure there's no lumps and bumps, you're pretty right. But you will generally know if your snake is constipated because you will feel a hard, solid lump down near their vent and going up a bit. You will feel a very hard lump. So then you know. And then really to fix that is to get some paraffin oil into them. And you can do that by putting it inside your feeders, down their mouth and in their belly of your feeder. Your Bradley didn't eat for 7 months. Hi, Dad Perfect. Thank you for popping in. 7 months, Bo. I couldn't even imagine Tessa not lining up to eat. Honestly, she is a guts on her food. I mean, I only walk past her enclosure and she smashes that glass. And I'm like, I fed you 2 days ago. or I fed you 4 days ago, or she's always ready for something to eat. Oh, I bet it would have. See, they're all different, Bo. You cannot go, oh, this snake will and this snake will and this one will. They'll all do it differently. I mean, Lily goes off food for 2 months to 3 months, especially in breeding season. She just, not even mice tempt her. She won't eat them. And I did a video of me offering her a buffet of mice, quail, chicks. Take your pick. No, still wouldn't eat. So breeding will also affect when your snake eats, because all they're thinking about is ovulation, making eggs and having babies. They're not interested in eating at all. But was healthy, didn't lose too much weight, like lost a little. I'd have been I was a mess 4 months of Lily not eating rats, and then finally getting a chick into her. And it wasn't really over breeding season, so she was much younger then. But just 4 months scared me. But she didn't really lose a lot of weight either, Bo. So I think they know they can push themselves to a certain point, and then if they don't start eating, especially our older snakes, they'll die. It's our babies we worry about. They haven't connected the dot that they need to eat to survive yet. So, but I very rarely have known an adult snake to starve themselves to death unless they're old and they know that they're not long here for this earth, pretty much. They will just stop eating. Sad, but true. And a lot of the time, your older snakes who are at that point in their life will die from starving themselves. And that's what they do out in the wild, is they would just stop eating and die. So, yeah, something we will all go through, I'm sure, in our life. Although I probably will have my snake put to sleep before I will let them starve themselves to death. What a terrible subject, Gabe. Don't even talk about that yet. We've got a while to go. 7 months. Yeah, it is 7 months. Yeah, it's you don't worry about it so much, both. They've got weight on them. It's when they hadn't, start, that they still could have a bit more weight on them, and then they do that. But I wonder, would they go that long if they didn't have good weight to begin with? Just ate his rat backwards. Like what? If he's eating them backwards, maybe it's time to go up a size, Luna. Because if you can swallow them down back, and my snakes do it too. I would hate Jack to be swallowing a jumbo rat backwards. Head first is a lot easier, but sometimes they decide not to. But generally, they will eat a feeder backwards if they're little. And they know they're little. They'll just eat them butt first. So maybe he's ready to go up a size in his feeder. No worries, Holderness. Thank you for being here. Carla is going through a terrible time, and I'm sure a lot of you are aware. You've got your older for 24 years, and his behaviour worries me all the time. They can be mysterious. Yeah, Joe, your boy's getting on in age, for sure, and changes in behaviour would be worrying to you. Him being that old, I know it would be for me. Yeah, up his size then, Luna. Yeah, Carla was devastated. And that's the chances we take when we breed. And Chewy was devastated. That's a chance you take, that you can lose your snake. And God, broke my heart, you know, and it'll take Carla a while. Have a snake with you for several years. Oh, you can have a snake with you 3 months and it can break your heart to lose it. But the relationship we know that Carla has with her snakes just rocked her. And but Chewy's coming through it. Chewy's showing signs of rebonding more again with Carla. He was always close to Carla anyway, but then his attention turned to Jade, of course. But I think his attention's going to turn back to Carla. And I think that's good. And Carla's also thinking about getting another female. So I think that will help too. Both of them to have a new female coastal in their life that she can love and get to enjoy like she did Jade. It'll be lovely. Internet's gone out. For you, SFAP, or for me? Oh, it just froze. Is it frozen for everybody? Or just SFAP? Because it says everything's fine for me here. Jade was beautiful. Yeah, she was. Absolutely. And do you know, Jimmy, she reminded me so much of Lily. And her personality. Oh, mine froze for a little while ago. Oh, cool. Thanks, DD, for letting me know. Yeah, Jade and Lily, so much alike. Except Jade, I think, a little bit more stubborn than Lily, but certainly very, very similar in personalities. And it's funny because Jack and Chewy are very similar in personality. So me and Carla would quite often laugh about the different things that were so similar in how our snakes were. And we're very similar in so many other ways too, not just with our snakes. But I did a video on coastal carpets with Jack, and Carla immediately said, you go doing that. And I've just editing a video that's very similar. And often we do that. We are thinking along the same lines and we'll do a video very, very similar. And it's not because she knew I did one or I knew she's done one. It just seems to be the way we think. Best thing about snakes is figuring out their personalities. Care for more snakes. No, and it is when you've got multiple, but keeping up with all their different personalities and making sure that you're equating how you are with each of them because they are all different is, yeah, a lot to take in. And that's why I like to write a lot of things down. So should I not be here, everybody else understands their little quirks and jerks and what they like and what they don't like, and don't do this and do this. I mean, people think I'm so fussy, and I am, and I will always be when it comes to what I expect people to do with my snakes if I'm not here. It would be bad enough them not having me here without changing the whole way that they've ever lived their lives as well. So too, how much they are. They very are much alike, Jimmy. I agree. Oh, hi, family, Jules. Yeah, well, I'm getting ready to head on off and get Miss Maya, who's not eating because we've got winter here at the moment, and spotteds are very much renowned too for going off feed over the winter time. And so, you know, I do want to say to you guys about the weather. Yeah, for snakes over the winter, and I know for you over in the US, you're coming into summer, so a lot of your snakes are going back on feed. A lot of people, of course, allow their snakes to brumate over the winter, and they're all out of that now and starting to look at being fed again. But understand, if your snake stops feeding, the weather's cooler, don't worry. Please don't panic and think something is going wrong with my snake or my snake's sick or what's happening. And while they're young, they tend not to so much go off feed. But when they get older, they will and can. Not all. That's what I mean. They're all individuals, but they may do it. Just don't panic. Okay, just don't go into a panic. And you will find it could be 4 months before your snake, or before, when the warmer weather starts, before you'll see them wanting to eat. Just watch their weight. Like Bo, weight change didn't really alter. 7 months of not eating for his girl. So weight change didn't alter. Don't worry about it. That doesn't mean that you don't offer food though. Always remember to offer. Maybe spread it out for a couple of weeks, instead of, if you were feeding several days apart, go every 14 days. But continue. I'm just watching her flick and carry on like I don't know if you could see her tail going over there. Family jewels at my male went off food all winter. Everyone eating now. Yeah, and ball pythons especially, we know, it will do that when it comes to pythons. Carpets, not overly as much. I certainly know Jack never gives up a meal. Lily does in breeding season, not so much winter. But this girl, she can shut down all winter if she wants to. And that's not because it's not warm in her enclosure. They just know it's winter. And it's something instinctual that exists in them. So no panicking, guys. No panicking. And as you can see, she's looking good and active and happy. Are you not? And this girl gives me drama with our eyes. She just does, don't you? Hey? She's just had her second RI, and I've changed her enclosure up and made a few changes for her. So we'll see how she goes. So, okay, no more. Bryony has slowed right up with feeding and wants to eat smaller feeders, but Cody's still eating. Yeah, use this. That's what it's all about. Doesn't matter. They don't want that bigger feeder, but they're happy to take a smaller feeder over winter. Do it, if that's how they're going to eat. I mean, gosh, you see the way I feed my snakes? I am the most weirdest person in the world when it comes to feeding snakes. People say don't double feed. People say don't this, don't that. You know what? It's my snakes that say do this and do that and don't do it any other way. And that's how I feed my snakes all of the time, the way that they want to be fed. And not by any book at all. The only thing I do is if I double feed, because size of feeders can vary, and to get what I want in the interim, your snake is this big, but you need a feeder that big, but they're not packing feeders that big as such. Your snake gets to an in-between size that they're not ready for the bigger one, but they're past the smaller feeder. So always just remember, offer the smaller feeder first, or if you like, split it up into 2 feeds. over that time frame instead. But double feeding won't hurt your snake if you need to do it occasionally. So currently I'm having to give Jessie a large wiener and a medium rat. The large rats I've got are huge and way bigger than his girth. Missy up here, Tessa, she's on 2 large wieners. I can't get small rats at the moment. And a small rat, I don't think she'd be happy with. So 2 large wieners are a little bit more than a small rat in weight, but easy for her to eat, knock back. That's how I do it. That's how I feed my snakes. Right or wrong, they're all gaining weight, they're all healthy, they're all growing, they're all eating, except now it's winter. It's got nothing to do with how I feed them. I'm so glad you spoke about it. I tried to double feed him last feed and he wouldn't take it, even though the pups that I have are too small. No, and some won't double feed. You just try and you go with it and figure it out all by yourself. Your snake will tell you, yep, you can do that. No, you can't do that. So he's telling you, get me a bigger feeder. I'm not going to take 2. It's a lot of effort for them to feed 2, remember? It takes a lot of energy to eat. So, you know, getting and eating one and swallowing one down is, yeah, a lot of effort. But sometimes you got to do it. Tessa doesn't mind 2. I could give her 3. I think she'd swallow it. So, but guys, he only ate 1. Yeah. And he's eating every 5 days. That's fine if he's on that smaller feeder. Once you get him up to the bigger feeder, Luna, take him to his 7 days, doll. So, Bo says you're awesome. We're all awesome, actually, Bo. We all love our snakes very much. And that's what my channel's all about, is just loving our snakes. Reptiles, any reptiles that you have. Of course, DD has lizards. He loves his lizards like we love our snakes. Look at this grey hair, like, coming through. I don't need to go and have my hair done anymore. I've got all these grey hairs coming through now, so that's going to save me money to help pay the extra for those new fees that are coming in, I think. So guys, you all take care of yourself, your family, your snakes, and I will be here next week, like I always try to be. Yeah, any animal, dogs, cats, spiders, scorpions, all those great things that people love to keep now. Yeah, Maya, she'll be looking forward to, I think, going back into a little home and having a nap. Bye, Luna. Everybody, thank you for coming today and having a chat. I really, really guys.